In Ayurveda, that every person is born with certain constitution, and we need, in order to run this body, we need what we call Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Just to quickly explain this concept, I want to give you example of car. Running of car, we need both, all three of them, Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Air element in the car creates movement. Air always in the tire and everywhere else, it creates movement. The ignition is the fire element, it is a starter, and the physical body of the car is Kapha element. In the same way, in our body, we have certain igniters like hormones and enzymes which are initiating lots of processes. They are participating many processes like catalyst, and they help in conversion. This is actually a form of Pitta. We have this physical body which has a solid concrete form. Arteries, they have a solid form so that the blood can flow. So this physical body and concrete form and the liquids in the body actually represent Kapha element in the body. And all the movements, very subtle movements, which you can see only in their actions, but they don't have any physical forms, are all initiated by air principle, the Vata principle. So we need Vata, Pitta and Kapha to run this body. But when this becomes extra, then there is a problem. So Kapha is a solid, profound physical energy. And this Kapha, when that becomes more, you have excess growth in the body. Fat, tumors, fibroids, extra growth. Also cancer sometimes is because of the excess of Kapha polluting the tissues. Too much of mucousy Kapha settled into the tissues can actually stimulate tissues to expand quickly and form a very either benign or very bad cancerous tumors. So that's Kapha. Then Pitta. Pitta, for example, when that is in excess, Pitta is a hot energy because you need heat for transferring anything from one form to another. So Pitta is a transforming energy and it is a heat. It's a kind of a fire. Now, when that is excess in the body, what happens is you get all these hot feelings and hot reactions, anger, headache, acidity, boils, skin problems. All of these problems are connected with Pitta. Also, skin cancers particularly are because of excess Pitta in the body. So people who have particularly anger and suppressed emotions combined together, they would always be converted into either skin cancer or some kind of a growth. Now, third thing is Vata. Vata is a kind of air and space element. Now, air is very responsible in the universe for transferring things. But air is also drying. When there is too much air, too much wind, you always feel that things are getting very dried. Skin is dried, hair becomes dry, you feel dryness very quickly. And in the body itself also, when there is too much air, more than what you need, it creates dryness and dryness related problems. So dryness of cartilages, dryness of mucous membranes, joints problems, stiffness, too much worrying, thinking, fear, depression, very thin body, weakness, fatigue, all of these things are connected with too much air. So this is, whenever you have these symptoms, if you balance them, if you have too much Kapha, which is cold and solid energy, balance by doing opposite. Do fasting, ginger, take a lot of mung bean soups. This way you will process Kapha and balance it out. When there is too much Pitta, take everything that is creating coolness in the body. Do opposite to what you have in the body. So you can use, for example, lots of black raisins, 20 black raisins every day. This always cools down Pitta. Spices like fennel, coriander, 1 teaspoon twice a day can immediately make you feel cool. or some of the fruits which are sweet and pitta reducing, you can take them a lot. Vegetables like zucchini, pumpkin are cooling and pitta reducing. So have everything that is cooling and pitta reducing, so that you can, through your diet and lifestyle, calm and balance it out. If you have too much vata, avoid everything that produces vata, like salads, raw food, or heavy beans like chickpea, kidney beans, etc. are very, very vata producing. So stay away from them and have lots of cooked, soupy, watery food, so that your vata is always calm, because too much air needs moisture. So warm and soupy liquid things will calm your vata down on a daily basis. Now this is about vata, pitta, kapha. Second thing, which is the most important in the body, is actually Agni, your digestion and your metabolism. Whatever we eat that has to be digested very well should be processed into the tissues in a right manner. Then you have energy, you have proper immunity, and you have really good emotions, because everything is nourished on a daily basis. But if your digestion and metabolism doesn't function very well, then what? Then there will be problems of what we call ama. So if the digestion, to begin with, very, very sluggish digestion, produces half digested mucus which stays in the digestive tract, and on a long term it can block your absorption. It can actually result into Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, IBS, and many, many chronic colon related problems, digestion related problems, inflammation of esophagus, stomach ulcers, etc., etc. And this ama is toxic mucus. When that goes into the blood, it starts then depositing step by step, drop by drop, over a period of days and months and years in one particular place. Then that organ would have some trouble. If it keeps on depositing in the pancreatic duct, diabetes will come up. If it deposits in the blood vessels, blockage in the blood vessels. And if it blocks the whole metabolism system in a big manner, then after some years there will be manifestation of actually growth, what we call growth cells. Particularly muscle tissue, because we believe that whatever is digested is distributed evenly into 7 major tissues. Out of these 7 major tissues, muscle tissue is one which, if overnourished, can result into tumors and finally cancers. So how does that happen? Sometimes it happens that metabolism before every tissue transformation becomes uneven. So some tissues are overnourished and some are undernourished. So on one side there is a growth related problems, on other side there are symptoms of chronic fatigue, tiredness, not feeling good, hair falling, hair loss, many bone loss, etc., etc. So there is imbalance in the tissues. This is again metabolic imbalance. That happens when this ama is in excess. Agni, or what we call fire, metabolic fire, is not functioning very well, because there are these very subtle enzymes and hormones which are a kind of what we call Agni in Ayurveda. They participate in conversion into different tissues on a daily basis. Sometimes, because metabolic imbalance happens, some tissues are actually created in excess. Fibroid is one example. If you look at the fibroid, female who has fibroids, they always would have infertility problems. Why? Because muscle tissue is overnourished and what we call Shukra Dhatu, which is a reproductive tissue, undernourished. This is metabolic imbalance. In the similar way, when metabolism is not functioning properly and very deeply and chronically for years and years, it finally results into benign or cancerous tumors, cancerous growth. And that is extreme level of what we call metabolic imbalance. And finally, immune system, which is nourished as the end result or nectar of this metabolic process. When metabolism is not proper, obviously immunity is not proper. It's not strong, it is not working powerfully to protect the body, and because of that the bad cells can grow very quickly because there is no mechanism to prevent them and fight against them in the body. So when you balance metabolism and stimulate immune system, you can prevent lots of problems, including cancers.